Hi everyone, I decided to do this as a separate video just so that you didn't have to actually go through the video on stripping wires, so I left this as an extra video for you to view. But while we were stripping basically some unused cordage, there are these objects that are usually placed on the ends of usually electronic device cords that you would normally use, say, for computers or other sensitive electronic devices that may require these. And what's inside these little plastic drums that usually wrap around the cords towards the ends of the cables themselves are what are called ferrite beads. They can have different looks to them. This one is basically just a cylinder that's just opened up so that you can slide a wire through it or some sort of cabling through it. As the name suggests, it is actually iron-based and can have a magnetic property to it to some degree. However, if I were to take something that were, say, steel, say this nail clippers or something, you can see that it doesn't quite have that much in terms of magnetism to it. It can stick a little bit, but more than likely it probably has some residual magnetism. When I was playing with this particular magnet here, this neodymium magnet, common refrigerator magnets, and it definitely sticks to it quite nicely. So it does have properties that does allow it to transfer electromagnetic fields through it and basically become attracted in that sort of sense. So essentially what these are doing is acting as a low-pass filter for essentially what becomes a radio frequency that can be emitted by your wires, basically through data transfer between objects, say like your computer and your external hard drive. What will happen is that you'll get an electrical signal going one way and an electrical signal going the other way. Well, this essentially creates an antenna, just like radio stations amplify their radio signal through an antenna and transmit it just normally. So these can basically come about from essentially the induced electric field produced by magnetic fields and changing magnetic fields and all that sort of stuff. So this kind of ties into the concepts that you'll be learning later on towards the end of the magnetism lab, magnetism module, that will essentially synthesize both electricity and magnetism into electromagnetism, and gives us the phenomenon that we usually call electromagnetic waves, which we're more familiar with light and possibly radio waves and things like that. Essentially that induced magnetic field and electrical current that we were producing with the transformer, this essentially makes for us an electric field, and these two couple together, oscillating in time, and this produces an electromagnetic wave. The frequency at which this oscillation occurs, typically in electronic devices, usually occurs right around the radio frequency or RF region. And this can interfere with electronic devices and their data manipulation through using electronic bits and things like that that are transferred through the wires themselves. So these just act as low-pass filters in which they sort of are supposed to reduce the higher frequency radio waves that would oftentimes interfere with your electrical devices. So that's what's inside these little drums, if you were ever curious about what they did and why they're on these cords and maybe you might find them to be a little annoying, but they do serve a purpose, and it's to reduce electromagnetic noises in your devices. So hopefully you found that informative. I'll talk to you later.